most impactful gift. I can tell you it's so appreciated and plays a huge role in creating a healthy culture for our staff. I am just one of thousands of people whose lives have been profoundly impacted by Tamarack over the past 115 years. If one is truly to look at what is magical about the Tamarack experience, I think most would conclude it comes down to the people and the relationships that are formed. My Tamarack experience started as a camper in Brighton in the late 70s, my first time away from my parents. I vividly remember swimming across Blaine Lake, walking through Dino Land, camping in the pines, competing in Maccabiah, and sitting under the milk and cookies tree, listening to Marv Berman tell the legend of the bus graveyard, a story I would tell to my campers a decade later. My Uncle David Mazeloff was sitting in the bathtub. Legend camp staff from the 60s and 70s would come up to visit camp when I was there. Although I well knew what he was really doing there, which was checking up on me for my worried Jewish mother back home. I would share with great pride that David was my uncle and hear stories about how he started Euphoria, the escapades of him and Lenny Newman, how he would hit a softball from D-Roy Field all the way over to the clinic. And in 1989, I had the privilege to be in the same cabin he was 22 years later. I had several other meaningful camp experiences, but it was 32 days on a Tamarack Western trip that I am convinced changed me forever. As a teen with the common developmental struggles of insecurity and trying to find my own identity, I suddenly experienced the power of acceptance for who I was, a newfound passion for the outdoors, a belief in myself and what I could accomplish, and a new set of friends that transcended the cliques and peer challenges of the high school years. Camp has been in my blood ever since. I was fortunate to follow Western in Alaska, and then worked a year in high school at the Tamarack Adventure Center, yet another example of genius and creativity. A donated empty Chatham supermarket in Southfield was transformed for a year into an indoor camp complete with a climbing wall, sports area, amphitheater, nature center, and arts and crafts. It was here I met amazing camp families like the Grays, the Lovingers, the Zapps, the Lipsitz, and others who were the leaders and mainstays of camp. In 1987, I applied for one of 6 coveted positions at Brighton known as the Teen Co-op Program, or TCs. After being hired, we were later told by the campers that TCs really stood for toilet cleaners, which is pretty accurate. Jeff Metz, the camp director, used the line in us in staff training that he could tell the best future counselors by how well the TCs clean the bathrooms. For a half day, we would have the great responsibility and honor of cleaning all the bathrooms at camp, and the rest of the day learning how to be a camp staff. The following summer, I was hired back as a junior counselor, where we were taught and mentored by our camp social worker, Lynn Levin, who's here today. Who taught us so much about how to take care of kids, how to create great group dynamics, and became a great influence in my career and life choices. She would call my friends and I her lost boys as we tried to find our way in our 20s and turn to her for guidance and support. From there, I followed the typical progression of counselor, trip counselor, village supervisor, and finally a Western trip supervisor, the best summers of my life. It was at these summers where I met the most passionate, dedicated, creative, genuine, and dynamic people who bonded through the experience of giving children the most amazing camp experience. I looked up to our directors, Jeff Metz and Susie Zacks, the supervisors, the returning staff, and couldn't help to want to be just like them. In retrospect, they were carrying on a legacy that they had been a part of, rooted in an established culture of passion, community, and caring. The feelings of connection with campers and staff was something that was felt on such a deep level. Brighton was really just a collection of old buildings from the 1920s with a lake and a pine forest. But the people truly made Brighton magic. Whether it was literally staying up all night to transform the camp into a circus, guiding a camper on their first overnight in the woods, singing songs on Shabbat, checking in a turtle into the Turtle Motel, or telling the story of why we had koozies on senior side, the creativity was boundless. During my wedding, a conversation was captured on video during the cocktail hour. My father-in-law talking could be heard telling a group of guests, "You see, they all worked at this camp in Michigan called Tamarack. I don't know what they did there, but they all turned out to be teachers, psychologists, social workers, doctors, and rabbis." In fact, the Tamarack experience inspired and motivated me, and as a result, I am a proud child psychologist, and so many of my camp friends are making a difference in the human services field. For the past 5 years, I've had perhaps my most gratifying role at camp, and that of being a camp parent. Now I get to see the love of Tamarack experience through the eyes of my 2 children, Andrew and Abby, and I'm watching them form their own special relationships with new friends and staff. They light up when they hear this camp song, tell a story about something that happened at camp, or talk about their new friends. And I also have a third part of my family here today, Alon, who's our Israeli camper who came 3 years ago and has been texting me for 3 years, literally counting the days to come back. And this summer he was able to come back, and we're so happy to have him as well as part of our family. I'm grateful that my parents were able to provide for me a Jewish camping experience. I am proud that my father was a Tamarack scholarship camper, my sister a camper and counselor, and so many other family members were campers and staff. My camp friends include the rabbi who married me, the best man at my wedding, and my roommates in and after college. And in my most difficult moment, when I lost my mother 4 years ago, so many tributes poured into camp to dedicate a mezuzah. I was told we could put a mezuzah up in any spot we wish in camp. And I so wish she could be here today. After leaving Michigan for over a decade to live in Chicago, I returned home. After being disconnected for many years from camp, one call from Rachel Gray Ellis as part of a new Tamarack alumni outreach developed with Dina Lackman and Carly Weinstock, and I was back home. My work on the board has connected me with a whole new set of inspiring camp friends who give so much of themselves. I have met creative, passionate, brilliant, and inspiring leaders who are so committed to our agency and I can constantly learn from. I have received great mentorship and encouragement to become a leader in this agency from people like Lori Weberman, Elizabeth Solish, Michael Lippett, and Darren Finling, among so many others. I've learned so much from being on this board and in working with the greatest professional staff any camp could ask for. Our board continues a long legacy of excellence set by so many of those who gave of their time and resources before us. I've worked directly with past board presidents Shelley Hutton, Frank Elias, Michael Lippett, and Darren Finling, who provided such awesome leadership, each bringing unique talents and helped steer the agency so masterfully. I've seen the continued commitment of so many of our past presidents who've lended great wisdom to our agency and have stayed involved for decades. I feel so lucky and grateful to serve as an officer under Stacy Brodsky's outstanding leadership. His creativity, steady hand, and wisdom guides an engaged board that's as strong as ever. We are so fortunate that 7 years ago, our camp leaders hired, in my view, the greatest executive in the history of this agency in Steve Engel. His personality, depth of experiences, knowledge, and skill has facilitated an exceptional lay professional partnership that continues to take our camp to new levels of excellence and making us the leader in Jewish camping. I'm proud to call him a friend and learn so much from working with him. So if anyone wants to know how one has such a passion and commitment for something like Tamarack, there you have it. It's about giving back to a place that has given so much to me and changes so many lives. Ultimately, camp is about people and relationships. As Lee likes to say, it's home. And this home is created through the connections and experiences, truly building a vibrant community. Life came full circle for me in the summer. In my capacity as team program chairperson, I was very fortunate to accompany our outstanding director, Jason Charnas, to Utah to visit some of the Western Trip programs. I got to participate in a classic and extremely challenging Angels Landing hike in Zion National Park, where I watched teens and staff working together and supporting one another until reaching the peak together and marveling at the inspiring views. I got to sit through a beautiful and spiritual Shabbat service with a fully engaged campers in a cavern that became the perfect sanctuary created by nature. The visit ended by sharing an inspiring Havdalah in Canyonlands in an area with a 360-degree view of the park, with campers singing, sharing, and reflecting. I felt great pride that our board had chosen to resume financial aid so that so many more campers could have the opportunity that was fulfilling our mission. As I looked around the circle of 30 people, I felt great emotion watching another generation of kids being impacted in similar ways I and so many of us had been years before. As the classic Carole King song, Circle Game, was played on the guitar, I listened to the moving lyrics, "We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game." I am so fortunate that as I look back, I know just where I came from. That is from the most special place, made up of generations of the most amazing people who have created a legacy of extraordinary experiences from an incredible Jewish community. That place is called Tamarack, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you.